so sad.
Yeah, I was hearing something in the distance, but...
Perkz on the backside, the ante is huge! Instantly going in, that's one. Looking for a second, Nuke gonna get taken down.
Oh, he's expressing.
Look on me.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, nice. No need to it. What played?
Themselves into a corner here, they need to be ready to devour. Instantly he's gonna get eaten up. LeBron gonna get taken down. Crowny now gonna Gale Force out of safety. Big ult into the midst of three. Massive from Nuke.
Well, welcome back for another breakdown between BDS and Vitality, this time around where we find BDS at match point. And I've got another Telestrator for you guys that I want to take a look at. For this specific scenario, as we roll out the clip, you can see that we're in a situation where BDS is actually really good at taking control back at the Dragon if we stop it right here. Because the most pivotal vision has actually already happened. So Vitality, quite crucially, had already gathered themselves really good offensive vision. They got to be first on the Drake, as we can already see. But the vision that BDS had set up themselves is not only securing the fact that after the Drake happens, they can't get flanked like this. They also have general vision of where the members are going to be. They just cleared out the vision where I highlighted here. And what's really crucial is the fact that BDS doesn't just throw themselves at Vitality. As we roll out the clip, you can see they actually take the turrets, they cross-map it, and they manage to actually continue with this instead. And as we pause it right here once again, they're playing off the information that they have. They know from the Raptor ward that two members are here. They know from Adam also just chunking them down and him getting chunked himself, and the ward that three members are here. So let's close out the clip once again. And as you can see, Kaiser's looking for something here. Pay attention to Labrov instantly gobbling up Crowny. And one more time, I'm gonna ask us to actually pause the clip right here because it's looking dire. But look at the different position that BDS is setting themselves up for. Adam right here to look for a big Q in the middle of everything. But also on the other side, Shio on the left side flank has got the right positioning to come in and actually pincer them without them knowing. And as we roll out the clip, you're gonna see Crowny instantly Gale forcing himself out of there. Great ultimate from Nuke, then the Q from Adam, then the knock up from Shio afterwards. And what looked like a good pick from Vitality initially has completely turned around for them, and BDS completely out-team fought them. Close on Adam to get the last Q, but this was a big turnaround fight that swung the favor over to BDS despite Vitality showing signs of life.
Thank you, GB. Telestrator OTP for the day, I want to say, but mad respect, honestly, for the BDS player for turning this game around. And also, you were mentioning Adam. I want to highlight the French boy on the top lane. We've talked about him in the pre-show, Broxa, wondering how he would match against the likes of Photon. But so far, he's got his phone number.
I was actually a little bit worried about him because usually he tends to sacrifice himself pretty heavily for his team, leading to him falling behind. But now, against Photon, he's just dominating him every single game. Obviously, in the early game, in this previous one, playing Sion and Zakanin, he's not supposed to destroy him. But the fact that he could just sit top lane and be more than fine, eventually leading up to the solo kill, is so impressive.
Yeah, it's so funny as well, because when he's playing the Darius, that's when he's facilitating the team more. When he's playing the Sion, now he's looking for the solo kills in lane. And it was so tense in the matchup between Adam and Photon. The entire time you could see that, am I looking to flash on you? Specifically when they were level 5 and they were looking to become level 6, the both of them. They're just fighting for minion control, fighting, am I going forward, you going forward? Setup coming through with Bo. So much top lane action in the beginning of the game, despite having a matchup that was Kennen into Sion.
I mean, that's the thing. He makes it look easy and also in control all the time without even asking for help, which allows the rest of his teammate on the other side of the map to get in motion and get things going. And here I want to highlight Nuke's Cassiopeia, of course, because we haven't talked enough about the mid lane on the side of BDS. Massive improvement on his side year after year, and today he's popping off. He's
been dominating basically every part of the game. Early game, mid game, late game, he's been on point. Great team fighting. Perkz hasn't really been able to keep up, and especially this time around with the Annie first pick. Perkz needs to step up. He needs to be able to control the pace of the game and take over the mid lane, but he couldn't do anything against Nuke.
And I think there's only one team fight where Nuke didn't have the mana around Drake, where it looked a bit dire and Vitality actually got ahead. But outside of that moment, we just saw it with the Rift Herald. Him picking up the double kill, put him ahead. Perkz having a really horrible CSing against Nuke in the beginning as Annie put him ahead. And the team fighting that he had, it was not so much that he needed to do all the damage, but the facilitation and then the follow-up after you had disengaged with your ultimate, which really will set him apart here. And you can see it as well from his statistics here. Great game he had himself on the Cassiopeia once again.
Yeah, fantastic game on his side. Of course, I'm really impressed on the side of BDS for every player individually, but also how they play as a team. I feel like every time I see them on the Rift, I see improvements. I see them getting better at things that used to be their weaknesses, and they're one game away from their first ever finals, from last place last year to maybe reaching the finals in one game. Insane improvements on the side of this organization, Jimmy.
I think it's so crazy as well, because this is a team of outcasts as well. Everyone except Shio. Crowny relegated from the LEC, no one really picked him up. Labrov as well on Vitality did not have much to show for his own performance. Adam as well, relegated. Nuke, his re-signing was so mysterious to a lot of people, but you put all these misfits together, the rookie with Shio, and all of a sudden, you got yourself a top European team.
And that's what I admire on the side of BDS as an organization, the fact that they trusted these players, even if they knew it would take some time, put them in the right disposition for them to shine at their best. And Broxah, I want to ask you, as a player, you've been in this team environment where things don't click. You don't always have someone above you that's going to trust you to perform better later on. But these players are blooming, they're shining to the best of their capacity right now, and it's organization players, everyone, it's just matching so well.
Well, that's one of the upsides of having a team with a lot of newer players that, you know, haven't gotten to the point of having strong opinions. There's no egos. Everyone's just so willing to work together and learn. And on the other side, we have Vitality, the super team coming in where you've been able to see in these two games, they are just not there as a team. They looked completely done mentally in the second game. And I'm a little worried about them because if they didn't get the greatest speech of all time going into this game 3, they're just going to get steamrolled.
And I think it starts even in draft as well. BDS just have so many good answers. You can see it on the bans right now. One of them was Malphite, but BDS just say, well, we're still going to pick out the sign here. And I actually thought this one was coming a mile away. This time Kenshin 5 as well, calling it out in the green room too, because I really thought that this just makes sense. When you lock in the Psy and the Nautilus, this is picked, this is picked, this is picked, there's already Kennen, there's an Annie. You get so much value with this pick. And it made me question, maybe the Braum should have been Braum and Tahm Kench if you're looking to mitigate purely disengage support, or it should have been Malphite and Sign if you're looking to take away purely tanks as well. But no matter what it was, BDS had good answers and good adaptations. And I think this is really what have been setting them apart, at least in terms of what gave them the avenue going into the game.
I do want to say if there's one player I have faith in to bring Vitality back, it's Perkz, because I remember being on Fnatic, playing G2 in a best of 5 in 2019. We were up 2-0. Perkz was in the position he was in right now. And we were pretty stressed backstage. We look over to Perkz, to G2. He's standing there laughing, chilling, joking around, and, well, we got reverse swept. I mean, sad part of that story for me, not so much for Perkz. We'll see if he can do the same now.
0-2 comfort zone for Perkz, but Team BDS is now on a 9-game win streak here in the LEC, and they only one more if they want to reach the finals in the spring split. Can they close it out with a clean sweep? Casters, take it away.
It's an excellent question, Laure. We'll have to find out. I wouldn't be opposed to a full 5-game banger, but based on the first 2 games, doesn't seem like the most likely set of circumstances. That said, Vitality choosing red side. We'll see again how they adapt. Broxah said it, they need to get the best speech of all time.
How crazy is it though, right? Like I think the analyst has summarized it as well. Like this is a roster kind of rejects in a sense, in that they were players that were... I remember reading all of the comments about Labrov when he was on Vitality. This man needs to go. He can't like perform. Like, he's not strong enough. Like he was alongside Perkz, right? Like he was a part of that roster, and he was replaced for a champion, right? Like in Kaiser, and now they're getting the better of them. Like sometimes an environment can change so much for players, and BDS seem to have found their formula. They return to the blue side. Vitality choosing red. They want to give counter pick. The question is, where is that counter pick going? And will they take this Aphelios away? Because you have to imagine that a core strength of BDS is the fact that Labrov is playing protection for Crowny, and Crowny is consistently getting his hands on this Aphelios.
I think the counter pick needs to go up towards that top side, though. It just feels at the moment like Photon hasn't really found his footing in the game. Like Upset and Kaiser are doing okay in the bot side, but trying to actually set up for these big team fights just hasn't happened for them yet. So we'll have to see if they can try and find that Lulu going to be the final ban coming through from Vitality. So not what I expected, but definitely makes things a little bit shakier if you want to go for something like an Aphelios.
Right now, Ari Ezreal hovers over. Could just be the Maokai, similar to what it was in game 1, and it's going to get locked in again. Do Vitality want to try with a Wukong of their own? Zeri obviously banned away. That's the Lulu was replaced with the Zeri in game 1. So now securing the Lulu, securing themselves a hyper carry for upset.
Sejuani for Bo, okay. Perhaps they want to try and match teamfight with teamfight. I felt like that yesterday, Mad Lions showcased a fantastic formula for dealing with Maokai, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen a slightly higher prioritization on something like the Braum or even the Trundle to be able to just shut that champ down in the early game.
And I'm curious if we'll actually get that shift towards champions that will do well against it here. I mean, you can still go for someone like the Braum in the bot lane if you want to, but I think someone like a Sylas could actually work out pretty well here for Perkz, give him a little bit more agency, try and play for these topside skirmishes with a triple melee and the Sejuani. Like, I feel like that's probably what Vitality are trying to aim for here, and then just let upset be your late game insurance with this Zeri. We'll have to see exactly what BDS are going to go for.
Wouldn't be surprised to see BDS actually shift over to the Jinx and then lock in their mid laner again. Game 1, we saw Nuke prioritize that Orianna. Why not? Actually go for the Jinx-Orianna combo here, and it seems that that's the direction that they're going for. They don't need to lock in their support just yet. Wait until you can get more information. I stand corrected. They are instead going to lock in that Thresh as early as possible, and it already gives you that protection on the bot side of the map.
I think a lot of what you're going to have to look out for, though, is, again, Vitality are going very short range. We want to jump in on top of you, and Nuke just had a fantastic performance on the Cassiopeia. So I'm curious if Vitality then want to try and ban it away, especially as we just said, we go for the Sylas, and there's the Cassiopeia back.
Instantly seeing that Sylas now locked in for Perkz already. At least 2 good ultimates to seal the box. A bit lackluster, but can still be pretty impactful. Getting the extra summoner spell is so often the case when you have a Thresh on your team. It's all about the Lantern, but Labrov has proven that he can be hugely impactful, winning in lanes where he might be expected to lose, finding ganks in the early game as he did in game 1. This Thresh in his hands is a threat to be reckoned with.
I was just about to say, gentlemen, the Olaf is still open, but that will be banned away. Nuke, so far, throughout the group stages and playoffs, has showcased Syndra and Cassio. With the Cassio taken away, wonder if the Syndra will come through for him in the mid lane into the Sylas. Of course, there are a number of champions that he could go for, but we'll have to wait and see. Top laners continue to be banned out from BDS, but the Blitzcrank going to be taken away. I wonder where Vitality will go. I feel like Braum could be good here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the opportunity of Braum or either something like a Srak or something, just try and play around it will be fantastic. And I think leaving your counter pick for Photon is your best bet. We kind of highlighted already. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you don't really know what Photon's going up against. Give Adam that counter pick for something a little bit funky. And as well, always the opportunity if the right pick isn't chosen for Adam here, you fall back to something like a Malphite, and you can just go for these big old brawls if you really want to. A ton of CC there for you as well.
It's going to be a bit of a tricky game now for BDS because with this Sejuani and a Braum locked in on the opposite side, it's really hard to get any sort of champion who's going to be able to dive into them. It's going to make the Zeri pretty safe.
I actually think this could be a Cloud angle for Photon. This is where they played it before. I thought that was a really, really good pick. The ability to get Sylas into the mix, get your Sejuani very quickly to close that distance, and suddenly you're able to just auto-attack people down with Braum. Could be really good. I think we saw Vitality played against Astralis as well, I want to say, and they absolutely smoked him with it. So I'm excited to see if it's going to be a similar scenario here for Photon if he sees the right pick here.
So Orianna once again for Nuke. Sion is where my head is at right now for Adam, but he's the wild card of the team.
Darius worked well.
Okay, I think into Braum Sejuani, Darius is a lot harder to play than he was before. Vitality are going to have way more rooms to kite back and play into that. And I think this Sylas pick that you mentioned, Dagda, just because of its ability to steal away that Maokai ultimate, it gives Vitality so many more team fighting tools. The Gnar going to be rounded out to give Vitality a few more team fight options. Good kiting, strong team fight presence once you've got the Mega Gnar. And Vitality is saying, you know what, we've had enough. No more early game shenanigans. We want to go toe-to-toe with you in the 5v5, and we want to leverage some of our individual strength to prove that we can be better.
And it feels like it's kind of falling back to what Vitality have been doing, at least in even in winter, which was we want to play for topside. We're going to forget about an early Dragon, but we'll play for the 3v3 with Photon, with Perkz, try and set up for Rip Terrors, turn that into gold, and just garner this gold lead that then we can then leverage into second, third Dragon, rather than really worrying about, hey, can we be in a position to fight? Because with you Drinks on the bot side, with the Orianna in the mid lane, trying to get push for Dragon is going to be incredibly difficult for Vitality to do.
I think all eyes on Vitality to see what they can do. BDS have shown us how powerful they can be, what they can do with essentially this exact composition. Now it's on Vitality to do more. It's not an Akshan anymore, it's a Gnar on the top side. It's Sylas in the mid lane. They have so many tools to make plays, so many tools to shut down the carries on the opposite side, but can they make it happen? Can Vitality execute? It is do or die in this matchup versus BDS.
Strong support for BDS in the crowd. And as the sign says, it is Crown Shots. Crownie, rather.
Crownie.
He has written
the man formerly known as Crown Shot. It is his birthday today.
It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Crownie. Be a great birthday present to go to the finals of LEC Spring.
It's only a present if they give it to you, and I don't think they're giving it to him. I think he has very forcibly taken it. It is time for what very well could be the final game of BDS versus Vitality. For Vitality, we've seen so many different versions of the Vitality super team. It felt like maybe this was the one that could finally go the distance.
Yeah.
But BDS is the team that nobody saw come in 10th place, stepped up this year, certainly looked solid, but they just continue to impress time after time. 9-game win streak. They've won 13 out of their 14 games previously. They're currently 13-2 in LEC Spring. They are titanic at this exact moment. A lot of people said it would take the stars aligning. Well, the stars have aligned for BDS, and it's on Vitality to find a way to shut them down.
I think what's incredible is I believe the best of ones are never really a fantastic indicator of your strength in a league, especially single round robin, right? We saw that last split where Vitality, they sat at the top of the league, and then they ended up falling short in the best of threes. But BDS have showcased phenomenal consistency, and I think it all comes down to they found a formula that works for them. Control mages largely for Nuke, hyper carries in the bot lane, just let Adam be Adam, and Sheo just doing what he needs to on all of the meta junglers. Like, this team has evolved incredibly well, and now they're at the precipice of making the organization's first final, the first final for a lot of the players that have been competing for a very long time. So see Vitality's bot lane going toe-to-toe already.
2 stacks look for 3 and a 4. Upset can't quite get into range. Zeri not the best champion at profiting because of blows there. Body block, of course, when she does not have the E up and available.
But just going back to the BDS point, I think it's just really great how they've adapted Adam into the fold. It's instead of actually trying to play towards Adam like we saw a lot on teams like Fnatic, it's a case of actually if we just leave Adam in the isolated 1v1, he's going to do his thing and look great regardless. So let's just put all of our attention into bot side, into Dragons, and then having Adam being able to force the, well, I was going to say 1v1 top, but it could be a 2v1 onto Bo.
And I'll also say that Adam has also just gotten better, and now Bo is in some serious danger as Adam is soloing the red buff right now. They know that Adam is missing. Where will the collapse come from, or will it come at all?
He doesn't have smite. It's so hard. He doesn't really have the information he needs necessary to walk into that pit. And the big thing about Adam is in the lane, Gnar has the range advantage. Gnar can just harass. Gnar can do so much to take over the individual 1v1 matchup. But if you just walk into the enemy jungle and say, fight me, you have to come to terms with a melee Darius. Sheo, though, fighting off a bit more than he could chew, perhaps. The stun now coming in. Perkz immediately going to follow up. Vitality firing back. Sheo now trying to zoom out to safety. Photon flashing in for the boomerang. Sheo knows that he's getting taken down. Vitality fire back with first blood.
Big first blood for Vitality. Sheo overstays in the top side because Adam had to go and catch that wave that Photon had pushed in, which means BDS don't find the members they need and Vitality collapse.
The Q from Sheo was actually so good in terms of creating space. Photon had to commit the flash to apply the slow, and you could see that Vitality very deliberately handed that kill over to Perkz. Now they have their eyes on Nuke.
Nuke gonna be in trouble here. Can just walk forward and just auto attack him, but he's gonna hit the stun too. Abscond and abduct, flash out to safety, zooming out. Sheo now here, gonna try to turn back onto Perkz. Do they have the damage to burst through the Sylas? He's got the red buff. Can he survive for now? Perkz getting cut down. Sheo finding one. Nuke body blocking. Oh, Sheo trying to make sure that this is one. He can't even touch him. Get that boar away from my mid laner, says Sheo. Double kill for the tree.
The revenge is sweet for Sheo. The double kill coming through for the BDS jungler. Really good job to get in the way of Bo and deny him that opportunity to find another kill.
The buff transfer was complete. All part of Sheo's 10-step plan of success.
All right, calm down. They're playing well, but Vitality did get that.
Of course, a bit of over-aggression there from Perkz and Bo. Very long cooldowns on the Sylas in this early game.
Yep.
Perkz trying to get a bit of early information, but yeah, trying to fight against that Orianna when your Q on Ori in the early stages is such a low cooldown. It's such an effective trading tool, especially when you can use Xiao as a wall. Allowed them to walk away victorious in the 2 versus 2. They find themselves 2 kills. Of course, doesn't mean a huge amount in terms of the goal difference for now, but in terms of experience, big advantage gain for BDS.
Yeah, the Clockwork wind up doing so much work in that fight as well, just being able to consistently get those auto attacks off. And now, what was looking decent for Vitality, well, they're going to rinse and repeat here, because Bo, knowing that the camps have spawned on the top side, wants to try and get in behind Nuke here.
Nuke, no flash this time around. Ooh, the sidestep. Bo, I think, over-predicting there, but the stun's still going to come through. That is one dead Orianna. Clean setup, and you can see why they drafted this combo. So Sejuani and Sylas, absolutely lethal.
Oh, I was going to say, Perkz, he could just freeze the wave here now. This is a fantastic setup. Nuke going to be dead for a while, doesn't have the TP available to him. And Perkz doesn't need to reset. He has just recently gone back to base. The wave was in an unfortunate situation, and Xiao needed to come mid to help him push out that wave. He wasn't in a great position, and it means the Vitality get another kill on the board.
Kaiser's up here now, though, with Bo. It looks like they want to try and contest the reset that Xiao had. Got that early ward from Photon, and now it's going to pay off.
Level 5, doesn't have Smite available. Bo going to come over the wall and just take that camp away.
And this is what I loved in the Astralis series, where Vitality had Kaiser work with Bo, play around mid, and try and use this strong mid-jungle support. We haven't got to see it for most of the series, but now Vitality look like they really want to try and come online here. Everyone's here, though.
Adam waiting in the darkness, unspotted as of yet by Vitality. Bo will see him leap right back out. They know there's no play to be made here, but much closer overall in the early game. Vitality really responding well to BDS's attempts at plays and doing their best to shut down this Orianna in the early game.
Love that Labrov did, in fact, come mid to help push out that wave. Get Nuke in a better position. Perkz can't really afford to base here, which is Orianna's best position to be in. Can continue to chip away at Perkz underneath the tower. You can see that wave. He can also move into Fog, and right now they have their eyes set on this bot lane, but Bo wants to punish. Perkz can't really move, though, as he's trapped underneath his tower. Can Bo do anything?
Can just start to walk at the Orianna. It'll take a bit of time for Perkz to get there, though, so they decide to call the play off. FaZe Rush doing a lot of work. Bo just forced to retreat.
Pushing the bot side as well meant that they didn't really want to overcommit for that. Nice job by Bo to try and move around the vision, but BDS, this is what we're talking about. Full control over the bot side and also good control of the push in mid means they should be able to continue on towards these dragons.
BDS did look at a potential Drake start. Vitality assumed that, and now there's a window for BDS to pounce.
Brownie ghosting in. Chompers won't connect. Unbreakable about to fade away. Braum's gonna get in trouble. He takes so much damage. Ulti coming in. Xiao getting the kill. A bit unfortunate, but a killing spree now.
Kaiser got greedy with the flash. Didn't want to try and burn it. Thought he could get the stand beside me to get away. Now Adam moving in towards his mid lane to make sure that nothing happens for Perkz, but just a nice pickup for BDS in that bot side.
Yeah, I'll say Labrov threw the hook at Upset, and I think that the best situation there is for him to just cleanse out, right? But Kaiser trying to be the hero of support, tries to body block it, thinking that he can offer more support, but there's the double knockback of the Flay and the Q from the Maokai, which means that Braum goes a very large distance the second that he gets hooked in, meaning the BDS secure themselves another kill.
Definitely look good overall, and you feel for Kaiser. Sometimes you want to be that hero. You know, the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds, but doesn't always work out for you.
Not quite. Not this time, for sure. Photon, though, having a much more favorable time in the matchup. Of course, he still did get massive CS advantages in Game 1 on the Akshan, but it didn't really have significant impact on the game. But on this Nart, he's always going to have the ability to change the outcome of a team fight with a well-placed Mega Nart. We'll keep our eyes on this top matchup every now and then, but in this early game, it's not going to be super relevant.
I think it's also because Adam has just been constantly leaning in towards mid or leaning over to try and help Xiao with a counter jungle. Like, Adam hasn't been playing for his lane at all. He's been very much a case of, okay, let me act as almost a secondary jungler to just get in the face of Vitality and make them uncomfortable. Doesn't mean he's losing out in lane, but still working out nicely is Labrov.
Hook, landing on Kaiser, Lantern to bring him in. It's a clean combo. Can they fire back? It's a 3v3, but they've burned a lot of resources already. Kaiser surely should fall here, but no, he's still standing. The stolen Maokai buying a lot of space. Labrov now caught out. Upset gonna look for the follow-up. The flash over the wall from Bo. Is it too aggressive? No. Labrov stunned up and knocked down. Upset turning that play around.
A lot of flashes committed, but it is Vitality that walk away with the kill. 3 versus 4. Upset's able to collapse first, but let's look at Crownie. We've got the Pip. He's able to pick himself up 2 plates. So in terms of gold, the AD carries walk away pretty even.
The Rift Herald should be available for Vitality, though, as you can see them moving up towards this top side. So might be able to answer for that a little bit later. But again, Crowny getting that early gold, going to be able to reset. Cole in pocket as well, going to pop soon. But looks like as Perkz had gone for the reset, there's not a huge amount of members of Vitality here, and BDS off the reset themselves won't actually be, or will be in a position to contest this.
And BDS seem much more keen to force in this game 3. This is one of the first games where we've seen Vitality just have the luxury of trying to punish some of the more aggressive plays, as Bo being here is absolutely everything in the exchange.
The fact that Bo manages to get in here with this ultimate is key, but also Perkz steals away the Maokai ultimate in this, so locks up everyone in the middle of that, means that Kaiser can't follow.
But picture-in-picture, Labrov trying to hook the blue buff out to safety, going to shield up with the Lantern, and will walk away. But yeah, as you highlighted, very close play there. Ultimately, Upset able to get in there and grab a kill, and now Vitality control over the Herald for the first time this series.
Pushing the mid, still trying to come through here as well, as Perkz in a position now where he can actually try and follow up on towards this jungle, or the jungler on the Rift Herald. I'd be a little bit careful for Adam though, because I think he's trying to deny this wave crashing in, so Vitality don't immediately move up towards topside, but looks like they're not going to try and make the play.
And right now, Photon doing well in the individual lane matchup, steadily building a gold lead, hasn't given Adam too many opportunities. We know the Darius can still be a threat as we get later, but this is more of what they wanted. Of course, as I said, he does get hooked in and take a bit of a lackluster trade, but now BDS looking to respond with an objective of their own. They will be spotted out. Now Adam, full committing to play. Ghost coming through. 1-2 on the stacks, looking for 3. Waiting for 5. Gets the dunk down. The bleed, will it be enough? Adam now running out to safety, says okay. Mega Gnar will come through shortly, but we're going to have to set our sights down by the Dragon. 1 already getting taken out. Perkz with the stolen. Shockwave is big. Upset now looking to reset. Upset with the ultimate coming out. Not quite yet, actually. 3, 4 stacks. Locking down Sheo. Sheo trying to make it out to safety using Perkz, but that's a shutdown for Upset. Huge for the side of Vitality.
A lot of action across the board, but it is Vitality that secure the kill advantage, while BDS walk away with the first Dragon of the game. Photon very close to losing his life, but after Adam committed all of his summoner spells, Photon was able to gain a bit of health back and can pick up some plates for himself. So let's look back at how this fight starts.
Yeah, just as Bo managing to get in here onto Labrov, Nukrod really in a position to be a massive threat, especially when you look at the angles of attack that Vitality are coming in at. Upset coming in on the flank here, and big shockwave from Perkz sets up beautifully then as the rest of Vitality arrive, where they can finish off some of these kills.
Yeah, I do think the Vitality were a little disjointed at the start of that fight, with the bot lane taking a while to actually get involved, but Bo wanted to see an opportunity. Maybe he could steal away the Dragon, maybe he could catch someone off guard, but BDS find that initial pick, but Vitality bounced back well. 2-0-1 now for Upset on the Zeri. Crowny, though, still finds himself with a gold lead. A lot of that has to come down, rather, to the plates. And he's the individual that you just can never afford to count out.
Certainly the case, but he's also going to need his front line to be strong enough to protect him if we're going to come down to front-to-back team fighting, and it's difficult to have the same impact up against a Braum, so this is probably one of the hardest challenges in terms of compositions that Crowny has had thus far this series. Similarly for Labrov, falling behind on the Thresh always feels terrible. Certainly just get outscaled the later we go by the Braum, the reliability of the Unbreakable, but Upset still suffering in the trades. In the individual lane, the Jinx with the red buff still incredibly impressive.
And they're trying to push in, but I think this is the first game all series that we've actually seen Vitality having the advantage when it came towards wards. This entire bot side is littered with that vision control for Vitality, and it's why you're kind of seeing both Bo and Perkz leaning down here, preventing Crowny and Labrov from being able to fully commit to some of the push plays that they should have. Now, though, with Vitality starting to move back up towards their own top side, maybe that opens up a window for Crowny to get a little bit more aggressive.
Well, Vitality have their eyes on top lane right now. That ward has been a thorn in Vitality's side pretty consistently throughout this game, but with the Herald up, Vitality can look to secure some plates for themselves. Maokai making his way up towards top lane. Sylas going to back off and actually make his way back to mid as Orianna's pushing in that wave.
And I like the angle of funneling Photon. You've given him so many resources in draft. Now really trying to double down on that, giving him the Gnar counter pick here, and now giving him all of this gold on the top side. 1.8k individual gold difference.
But I also think it's hard to attack this bot lane, right? With the wave clear that Crowny has, with the ability for BDS to respond, with that wave setup, it was the best use case scenario, especially with the plates about to fall off. So I feel like Vitality kind of just making the most out of what they could in that situation, and now they've built themselves a healthy gold lead.
Yeah, Perkz leaned to bot side though, which meant the BDS wanted to come in onto this top end.
Sheo committing to the fight, stun coming out, Bo can just dash to safety.
If they had Nuke on the way, but ends up backing off at the end of it. So BDS just not having the numbers that they really wanted to try and punish Vitality there. Now it's Perkz once more, having got control over mid, leaning up towards this top end, and BDS are in trouble.
Stun now coming in onto Adam. Sheo maybe going to try to look and turn this play, but Perkz is already on the flank. Super Mega Death Rocket coming down. Will it be enough to finish anybody off? Photon, no. Perkz there to body block, going to take away the Noxian Guillotine to try to turn it back, but Adam is still healing up. Adam is still running for his life. Adam manages to live, and Photon now caught between two as Sheo and Nuke look to finish him off. Bo taken out of the equation. Adam still stands. BDS will turn the play.
Brilliant turn from BDS. The TP from Nuke to follow the roam from Perkz, and Crowny with the heads up on that Super Mega Death Rocket. And again, these over-aggressions from Vitality, BDS are doing a wonderful job of punishing.
Ooh, Perkz still looking to go for that fight. He knows he has the damage and the support of Kaiser behind him, but decides, well, rather I should say a good sidestep from Sheo to avoid that engagement. But as you rightly said, good response from BDS. They continue to fight well throughout this series. I love that they've consistently found answers to Vitality. My expectations were that Vitality would be the heavy favorites coming into this best of 5, and BDS continues to surprise. So Bo starts off this engage with the Q into the ult.
And it's a nice timing here where you get the reset from Orianna to TP into play. Adam managing to absorb a huge amount of damage, and then again going this tank build. And the fact that you actually don't get the kill here is heartbreaking. Sheo finishes off Bo, and then Adam just barely getting the heal there, and Perkz not having the damage to finish it off. And at this stage, Perkz committed everything to trying to finish off Adam, so there's just nothing left to help out Photon where BDS can collapse.
Yeah, you got to remember that ultimate does more damage the more bleed stacks you have, but you don't apply any bleed stacks as Perkz. And while it now does have AP scaling, the damage definitely not what Perkz was expecting. The Dragon, though, up and available for Vitality to grab, and this should be a pretty easy secure as BDS cross-map to take themselves their first tower of the game.
Yeah, looking to grab that, looking to put some more money in the back pocket of Nuke, but for now it looks like they're going to back off. No, the pings, the debate, do they want to keep this push going? They're already going to lose the Dragon. They're likely to lose this bot lane tier 1 as well, so a bit behind on the call, but it looks like Nuke wants to retreat to give that money over to Crowny. So again, BDS very deliberately putting resources into their carry.
But that doesn't mean, well, rather I should say that Vitality gets a reset first on the map. The Herald is up. Crowny has the Lantern. Ooh. Perkz.
Long-range hijack.
Yep. But now the pings are coming down. Crowny hasn't had an opportunity to go to base yet. That ultimate primarily used to interrupt the base of Crowny. And now the Herald has begun. Photon on his way. Not going to get to the fight just yet. Ulti.
Knock-up coming through. Only going to connect on the Sheo. Lantern going to take him out to safety. The re-engage coming in. It's a clean hook from LeBlanc. Flying him back into the box. And now the jungler is dead before the fight even starts. Unbreakable already used. And they can try to follow up. Crowny getting one reset. But BDS happy with the prize of the Herald. Well played.
That's 4 ultimates used. But Vitality is saying that it's not worth the gamble. Sometimes in these situations, you can turn the fight around when a large number of ultis are committed to a single target. But BDS, after securing that pick into the jungle, and now Photon could be in danger.
Nice backstep. Photon doesn't want to try to turn this one. He's going to throw a clock at him. Stepping in, knocks LeBron back. Upset waiting over the wall. They have to be careful here. Hook won't connect. Perkz waiting. Crowny now isolated. LeBron out of mana. Big Maokai ult coming in. Upset immediately going to ult. Lightning Crash coming through. Good damage onto the front line. Can they finish them before they get back into the tower? Looks like the answer could be yes, but no. Not quite able to finish the kills. Prio in mid lane in their favor. Herald coming down mid lane as well. Vitality looking to break open this tower.
It's a big effort, though, and I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to do so. Nuke can stick around and be able to push out this wave. Adam going to stay here as well. Vitality invest a huge amount to make that play work, but don't really get any kills off the back of it. And still the defense here in mid.
Wow, BDS have the wave clear to hold the line for the time being. Vitality, though, in that window, can steal away a number of camps, can push in this bot wave. And they hold on to every single one of their towers. Adam, though, back out on the map, should be able to secure that top tower. But what a chaotic fight. It all starts with Bo and Kaiser looking for that initial engage on the Sheo.
Yeah, the fact that Sheo is able to get the back away here on the Lantern, and then you just don't really have the damage to try and follow up to finish him off. The rest of BDS are moving into position as Nuke could just come across from mid, and that's why Vitality thought they had the opportunity to take this big fight, but they just don't really have the opportunity to finish off Sheo before the rest of BDS can show up.
Good news for Vitality, that play in the mid lane stopped BDS from using their Herald too effectively. It was just the charge onto the tower, but with Crowny already here, Vitality going to have to commit some resources to stop the Jinx from taking the tower. Braum coming in, as well as the Zeri. Will force Upset back, or rather, not Upset, man, Crowny back for now.
It's important to recognize that Vitality still do have a very healthy gold lead. A lot of it coming from Photon in the top side. Remember, he secured all of those plates, along with Perkz. 3-1-2, having a much stronger performance compared to last game. And I can hear the comms from Vitality's side. They're talking about a potential pick. They know about that control ward there. They won't be able to find anything, though. And we return to a neutral state as we wait for the next neutrals to spawn.
This gives BDS a lot of control over mid, though, and I think that's the biggest problem that Vitality are going to see every time they try and go for these plays is if you give the opportunity for Crownie to push mid, threaten that mid turret, it can crack open the game because both side towers incredibly low for Vitality. BDS, if they get control over mid, can easily lean in and start to get a lot of that standing gold, start to creep that vision line forward. And it's kind of the big downside that you see a lot of the times when you play against the Jinx is how good she is at controlling mid push and allowing you to then lean those pressures into side lanes.
Sure, for sure. Swooping the side lane pressure, BDS. Threatening top, Perkz threatening bot, throws out the ultimate onto Adam. Again, kind of tickles Adam.
I was so ready for that to kill Adam on the top side.
But look at the cooldown. 40 seconds on the ulti for Perkz means that he will have it before the next dragon. You imagine that he's going to be after Sheo's ultimate. The Maokai one is such a nice one to steal and gives you so much control in the team fight.
It's great timing as well. Perkz now gets the opportunity to move in. They can establish vision for Vitality on this top side. You've already got this kind of quicker reset coming through for a lot of their members with Kaiser coming back onto the map. So opportunities to look for picks before the fight really kicks off. But actually looks like there's not a huge amount of wards in their inventory right now as BDS have moved back into position to cover the potential vision Vitality wanted to put down.
BDS trying to gain control, trying to make sure that they're ready to fight for this Infernal Drake, Infernal Soul. Huge. You saw how impactful it was in game 1. Well, here it is again in game 3. Crownie finally going to break open mid. The Lantern again will ferry him out to safety. Top lane tier 1 and bot lane tier 1 still standing for Vitality, but with a sliver of health, a lot of potential standing gold. But meanwhile, Photon keeping up his assault on the side lane, slowly but surely breaking through that bot lane, or top lane rather, tier 2.
So Meka Gnar really available for him though, which means that if you want to try and take this fight, this is the moment there for BDS. You're going to Photon try and reset. Imagine TP down to this bot side so we can actually join in. There's the TP from Nuke to try and keep control over this mid lane, keep Perkz out of the equation, and Dragon going to be started, but Photon absolutely nowhere near Meka Gnar.
Vitality are awkwardly split right now with Perkz in mid lane. Sheo on the Dragon.
Has used the ultimate, trying to shred through. They are going to be able to grab the Dragon. They immediately turn on to Perkz. They're going to try to fly through him. Can he get the Maokai all down before? No. Goes golden. Buys a brief moment with the stopwatch. Bo immediately looking for the fall. Perkz over the wall. Takes the threshold. I don't think that was the priority target he was looking for. Makes a box, but does not do a whole lot as BDS now take the objective and walk away.
This is what we were talking about in terms of an awkward situation. Good hook, but the cleanse will come out from Upset. Perkz, whenever you're trying to flank someone, often, if the flank doesn't come in fast enough or if the main flank doesn't start that engage, then it's very easy for the team to collapse on the flank. And that's exactly what BDS did to Perkz. He was forced to flash away to safety. Adam committed his flash to the initial engage as well. No one ends up falling, but BDS walk away with the Dragon in exchange for Vitality extending the gold lead as Perkz secures a tier 2 tower bot.
And it's through those towers, as you said, that they get all that. That's top tier 2 down, bot tier 2 down. Suddenly trying to hold on to this mid tier 1 is looking very, very precarious. This is where Vitality, at least, look, the objectives may not be going their way, but when you're getting these towers down, the control of the BDS on the map is quickly dwindling.
It's an interesting situation that these teams find themselves in because BDS, it feels like that the map is kind of in their control, but Vitality are the ones that have way more towers. They're the ones with way more gold, and you look down at the itemization, they're the ones that should feel stronger.
I think a huge portion of that as well is just the ability for Photon and Perkz to play through side lane significantly better, and that's why we're seeing these side lane turrets going down. And if you can at least keep some sort of control as Upset on mid, then you can actually continue that Perkz and Photon threaten these side lanes.
Ultimately, 5-1, the tower score, 5k gold lead. BDS going to need 2 more Drakes before Soul is a thing, so it's going to take some time if they want to really get more out of those objectives that they've been fighting for. But Vitality continuing their side lane assault. Bo fishing for a bit of a pick here onto Sheo. Maybe just hoping to force a flash before the next fight. For now, though, complete control over the top side of the map from Vitality. Their vision control immaculate. BDS going to do what they can do to come in, to get control of the pit, to get control of this area, but keep your eye on the mini-map. Perkz in the bottom lane, pushing forward, threatening that inhib tower. Someone has to respond to him, but remember, in terms of side lane strength, Photon and Perkz can't be 1v1 by Nuke or Adam.
Perkz is very strong right now, level 15 on the Sylas, has the TP as well. Gonna choose to go back to base for now. as Bo is being harassed by the saplings of Sheo. But Perkz well on his way to 16. We all know how low the cooldown gets with Sylas's ultimate. And as we mentioned earlier, Perkz having a much stronger performance this time round.
Certainly the man that you want to be able to rely on in tense situations like this. Perkz in countless Game 5s. We can go back to the RNG series, but like that's a little too much of a throwback. But even Upset as well, a player who I think used to struggle in high-pressure series until that year on Fnatic, 2021 summer, where he and Adam both played back-to-back 5-game series, playing more games in the playoffs than they did in the regular season, unheard of at the time. But Fnatic was always able to rally, to find a way to win those series, and now it's going to take the experience of both these players, as well as their newfound teammates, to bring this series back.
And I think a lot of that, again, is going to be a case of how well can they control these upcoming Dragons, the vision around Baron, and at the moment they're doing a swap. Photon moving down towards this bottom side of the map, which I do like. I think having Perkz a little bit closer to the fight will be working out quite well. The TP is about to come up on Photon as well, so they should be in relatively okay shape to try and keep him here. I still think, though, the biggest problem is, as you can see, they can't really contest this mid push, and it's giving BDS a ton of opportunities now to push mid and then just sneak into top side, get vision, or even if they want to, start to lean into the spot side, which is why Photon is moving now into mid lane, very close to Mega Gnar, and they want to see if they can make a pick on towards BDS as they secure this vision.
Vitality moving together as 5. Hear him on stage in the studio. Getting loud, getting ready, knowing that this could be a game-defining play for now. Happy to control mid. A bit of an early Unbreakable, though. Means they can't block the Maokai ult. Sheo quick to punish, generating a lot of space here. Bo hooked up. Adam immediately going to try to kick things off. Kaiser's ultimate going a little bit wide, but Photon just going to try to chunk Adam down. But Crownie already getting one reset. Could be everything. Look at the damage. Look at the Rune Hands coming through, but Upset will not be stopped yet. The hook connecting Cleanse. Coming up just in time. Pause coming out.
Wow, they weren't able to get the kill onto Adam. The Lantern coming in clutch. And a very quick pause.
And have to see what the call is on the pause. Not sure what the issue is. We'll keep you updated, but
hopefully we can get a replay of the fight as well.
Kaiser blowing the Unbreakable early in the fight. You have to assume on accident. We'll find out. And ultimately making the Maokai ult so easy to hit. And while it initially looked good, I think it was 1, maybe 2 consecutive crits on those Jinx rockets with Runaan's, just obliterating the health bars of Vitality.
That's the art of being a pro player.
You just crit better.
No, it's a skill, Daniel.
It's
not something.
It was such an important skill that they actually took crit runes out of the game.
Yeah,
they were afraid.
Exactly. It's a powerful skill. It's really what separates the casuals from the pros. Yeah, we're obviously waiting for more updates. Once we have them, we will share them with you at home. But a much more intense game.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier, right, where I was saying that even though BDS are in like a deficit, it still feels like that this game is kind of being dictated by them, right? They're the ones kind of setting the pace, and they're the ones playing around these neutrals still very, very well. And that fight was kind of a representation of why. You still have this Jinx that still has a very strong front line, that still has a lot of safety and security, being free to just dish out all this damage that is very difficult for Vitality to deal with. The only answer that Vitality has is that Upset should, in theory, be able to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and currently for an update, League officials are investigating a bug, or a potential bug rather, reported by Team Vitality. We'll keep you up to date as we get more information on the situation. But I think Dagda highlighted it earlier, and I think that's something that I didn't necessarily respect when you see how strong the side lanes of Vitality are, but that 3-man core in the mid lane, you just can't approach them. You have to full commit to a fight to stop them from clearing a wave. Sylas doesn't have the range, Zeri doesn't have the range, Braum doesn't have the range, Sejuani has to be willing to ult, and it's just so easy for them to take space and take control.
And that's where it then becomes very difficult, because it's a case of, okay, if Jinx is now able to just fully clear that mid wave, well, now you can have the Thresh roam, you can have the Maokai roam, and suddenly what you thought was a 1v1 on side lane for Photon or Perkz suddenly ends up in a very uneven fight that you don't get to play the game in. So I think that's where we're really struggling to see how they can push the game forward as Vitality. And again, the fact that you're consistently having these moments where BDS are falling back, opening up space for the Jinx and team fights, allowing Crownie to just deal the damage he wants, is making things very, very tough for Vitality when they can't close that gap.
It's, I think it's, wow, how do I word this? BDS to me is a strong team fight team in the sense that they are very good at getting you to play into them. They're a team that kind of magically gets you to engage onto them when they want the engage to happen, you know? And while I think they have some decent engage tools, Dracos, you talked about it in game 1, where like Maokai's engage isn't the strongest, but when you play around objectives, that's where their tools become very powerful. And you look at how they set up around these objectives, BDS continues to be excellent. They're always first, they always have great vision, then the enemy comes to challenge them and boom, that is where their initiation falls and the team is forced to respond. Often we see Bo being the person that drops at the start of these fights, finds himself 0-5 so far in this game, but he's doing what he needs to. He's trying to find those initiations. He's trying to start the fights for his team. It's just a question of whether or not Vitality can then look to follow up.
Everybody, we're about to hot drop in. League officials have reviewed the footage and confirmed that it was an intended interaction, so we're about to resume the game.
But hopefully we can also get a replay of the fight. We are in the game right now. This is live. And
okay, they stopped shooting each other. That makes it a lot easier. It's less of a hot drop than initially expected, but this does mean Bo taken down. No tools really to contest the Baron, but it looks like not quite confident enough from the side of BDS to force that objective, so they will back away. We take a look at the replay.
What happened here? Kaiser throws up the Unbreakable very early, as you mentioned, Dracos. The ultimate comes through. Bo forced to tank it, then gets hooked up. The ultimate then onto...
Maokai W'd the Sylas hijack. What? That's what they call it. It must be. Maokai W'd the Sylas hijack. He does an ult.
He did it onto a minion?
I don't know who he did it onto. I just see the person ulted the Maokai and he doesn't have a Maokai ult.
I see, I see.
What? I've confirmed that is what happened. I did not know you could do that. Chio is either very big brain or very lucky, but either way, BDS taking the drink, ready for a fight. Perkz will get the Maokai this time.
Photon looking at the flank though, has flash available, looking to get Mega Nut off the
He doesn't have cleanse from the last fight. They're immediately going to burn through this area. It's not enough. The stolen Maokai ultimate is not enough. Bo tries to flash out, but he cannot escape. BDS slaughtering Vitality on the bot side river.
And it's disaster for Vitality. Upset one of the core carries, one of the people you needed to rely on. Ends up getting caught out with another incredible hook by Labrov, and now the Baron is in BDS's sights.
Labrov has hit 3 hooks out of nowhere on to upset this game. The first 2 were cleansed. That third one came in soon enough that he did not have the cleanse up and available. It is a masterclass Thresh performance, even at a deficit in the early game. And look, the production doesn't even know how to feel about it. They're so overwhelmed. We're throwing up every graphic we got. How do we explain this is the question on all of our minds. But right now, the only thing we can say for certain is BDS are getting the Baron, and right now, BDS are in total control of match point game versus Vitality.
And it is insane to see how well BDS have been able to control Vitality. This spring split was the first time in the organization's history that BDS were able to take down Vitality in that best of 1, and now they're looking to do it again in this 3-0 potential sweep. BDS looking absolutely spectacular.
And we will, of course, get the HUD up as soon as we can. Just wanted you to appreciate the changes we've made by showing you what it used to look like. I'm kidding. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, taking a look at these scoreboards, 0-6 now. Upset taken down in that fight. Crownie 3.5 items. And gentlemen, the writing is on the wall. BDS, it's been in the back of my mind, just like it was when Koi rose up, just like it was when Mad rose up, that maybe they weren't ready. But they have not stopped in best of 1s, in best of 3s, or today in best of 5s. They are absolutely monstering.
Certainly are. BDS with the Baron. 10 kills to 5. They've equalized the gold by and large. And now it's Vitality on the defense once again. It would be an incredible achievement for BDS if they were able to make it to their first final. The organization's first ever final, and to do it with a 10-game winning streak. Something that we rarely see here in LEC.
And a statement game against Vitality as well as Photon goes.
Photon going in, Crownie locked up, but a perfect Lantern takes him out to safety. Hook going in onto Kaiser, they're blocking a bit of damage still. Crownie remains locked up, they need to finish this Jinx, but they can't get the damage down. Crownie finding the reset on the backside. Perkz, desperate to sombrero him, does manage to follow him, gets the 3, gets the 4, gets the stun, will take him down. Perkz versus the world, and Perkz comes out on top. He takes out the AD carry, Upset still standing. Upset now needs to claim this fight, and he's gonna do it effortlessly. This is the power of Zeri. Vitality do not stop in the face of a disaster, they find the fight.
Finally, the carries for Vitality are able to do just that. They were not able to get onto Crownie initially. He survived for so long, it looked like it was going to be another Crownie show. But Perkz after so long, was finally able to land the chains onto Crownie, was finally able to shut him down, and then he, alongside Upset, came up clutch in the fight.
Just as you start to doubt Vitality, that's when they show up. That's when Perkz and Upset can find their opportunity, and fantastic moment to try and do so, getting so much more control on the map right before you start to see these objectives rolling through as well. This is where Vitality now can actually start to get some tempo advantage to push in these sides and start to get control over the game.
Flash still down, Ghost still down, all of these tools. Mikhail's still down, Dragon in a minute and 30 seconds, Soul point for BDS, but they're going to be missing so many things they need to keep Crownie safe. But can Vitality, without flashes of their own, find those angles, find that setup? The gold, 1.5k in Vitality's favor, but it's 3 Drakes on the side of BTS, or BDS. A little too excited about BTS. Infernal Soul right around the corner. This is a big thing that has to be respected.
But think about what had to happen in that last fight for that to be the outcome of Vitality, okay? So, Nart stun landed, and then Mikhail's instantly from the Brav to cleanse him from that. Then after that, okay, Perkz tried to dive on top of him. Bo was able to land an ultimate onto Crownie in the middle of that whole fight, which then gave Perkz enough time to actually get on top of Crownie, which means that you had to commit Photon ultimate, Bo ultimate, Perkz ultimate just to kill Crownie, and then you also needed Upset to clean up the fight on the back end.
You're saying there's a chance they could do it again?
I'm just saying that Crownie is not an easy man to kill. And Vitality, they found the miracle play last fight. Let's see if they can do it again.
Keeping our eyes on it. A lot of ultimates up and available. Perkz with the stolen Maokai. They stole it before the fight started, not risking anything this time around. A lot of potential control here. It's on the Brav to peel for Crownie, to keep him safe. For Kaiser, he can mitigate so much of the Jinx's impact if they play well together. Nuke throwing down the ball, instantly engaged, now coming out, Upset with the lightning crash to the backside. Everyone getting involved. Perkz, cats over the wall are clean, but they've already taken out Bo. That's 1 reset for Crownie. Vitality, do they want to keep this going? Upset, once the ult fades away, he's going to feel so much less powerful. It has faded. Perkz, Vitality now retreating. They've lost Bo, they've lost their jungler, they've lost their ability to contest on the smite. BDS playing this one slow.
Photon's ultimate's about to disappear there. It's gone. This is the window that BDS were looking for.
Perkz on the flank. He can steal another ultimate if he wants to, but he cannot steal Maokai's ultimate. Can maybe steal Jinx ultimate,
They're gonna
steal
have to
the objective,
this.
but they're just going to give up Infernal Soul.
They have to. How else are you supposed to fight this? You don't really have anything that can really be an issue. And now Perkz is caught on the opposite side of the map. Adam chasing him.
Taking it away. Maybe finally the Darius ult will do some damage, but no, it still doesn't. No matter how many times he steals it, it just does not do anything. Perkz on the retreat.
What are you going to do here, Perkz?
This is brutal. We saw it in game 2 on the Annie as well.
TP.
He doesn't want to waste time here. It's a mid until Baron. He's just wasting time until he's not going to be available. Now no TP either. Perkz honestly should have just died quick and got back out onto the map.
Well, he will be up before the Baron starts, but BDS will be in a better position. BDS found another great team fight, and you can see again in those front-to-back situations, Perkz tried to find an angle to get onto the back line, but BDS just focus whoever's in front of them. Bo has been their target consistently throughout this game. He is 0-8 for a reason, and that is because he gets hooked into CC'd by the Maokai, into Chompers by Crownie, into Dead. And they have consistently done this, and with the front line gone, Vitality have no other way to access the fight.
It is so hard for them to get on the back line of BDS, and Bo dying over and over again is his attempt to get onto that back line. But if everything isn't perfect like it was on that bot lane fight, Bo caught out again, the hook going in, will not connect.
And the big thing as well is that so much of BDS is engaged just is non-committal. Like, you don't actually need to send a huge amount of members in. You throw out a hook, cool. But as Vitality, you have to commit as Bo. You have to throw your body onto the line to try and make this work. Now BDS, as Baron comes up, immediately started. And it's Vitality, you're scrambling to get in position.
Through, Labrov waiting in the darkness, can't take them out of safety. Hook onto Bo, trying to keep him out of the pit. 2K getting lower. Perkz, can he take this one away? No, BDS get the Baron. Massive shockwave from Nuke. Kaiser going to block the follow-up damage. The only thing keeping Vitality standing in this fight. But it's not enough, because here comes Crownie. Looking to finish off Photon. The stopwatch will stop him from resetting. It'll make sure that 2 get out, but a masterclass from BDS in the fight. The shockwave from Nuke, the follow-up from Crownie is too damn clean.
It's Baron, it's Soul, and it's a hungry BDS tearing it down mid lane. Vitality, they pulled off one miracle play. Can they do it again? It does not look likely.
Breaking into the base now. Vitality, what could be their final hold. They can take ultimates. Will it be enough? BDS, eyes on the prize, eyes on the base. Nuke untouched on the backside. Crownie untouched. It was supposed to be Vitality. It was supposed to be G2. It was supposed to be anybody else. But in the finals, waiting for an opponent worthy of them is BDS. BDS will sweep aside Vitality. BDS will make the final. BDS are 1 win away from being your champions.
BDS, out of absolutely nowhere, come in as the regular season first seed. And there was a lot of doubts tossed their direction. But they have been not only silenced, they've been shattered after that performance. A clean 3-0 against Vitality.
And there were speculations that BDS could just get ahead of Vitality. There was debate around who the better team was. There was belief that BDS could win, but to 3-0 like this was completely unprecedented. What an incredible performance, and you could really praise any player on this roster. To me, one of the standouts has been LeBron. This man has been fantastic. Like, he should apply, like, protect the president is why he, this man is incredible.
Hire him for the Secret Service of any country or equivalent role. Like,
he did a great job of enabling Crownie to just play the game.
Mikhail's the wallop, Lantern him out of the Gnar ultimate. Like we highlighted already, it took everything for them to kill Crownie, and at the end of the day, it wasn't enough to even to get them a game.
It's not even the fact that he's protect the president. He's just whipping out a sniper at other times and like landing hooks as well. He's just a man who does it all. He's a one-man army on this threat.
And he was just one of the many members that stepped up today. Nuke with his incredible Game 2 performance. Adam, even after being counterpicked, consistently performed in the top lane matchup. Sheo, a name new to the LEC this year, but has performed as one of the best performing junglers this split. And then Crownie, the superstar AD carry, the man that was promised, getting revenge against his former organization, wanting to prove to the world that he could be the best. And now he sits atop the LEC with only one best of 5 that stands between him and the championship that he has craved.
And at his best, not when he debuted on SK, not when he was on Vitality. On the day he turns 25, he just absolutely obliterates Vitality and goes to the finals. That is cool as hell.
What a great story for BDS. This is the underdog story of the LEC. We don't get many here in Europe. Like Mad
and we
Lions,
don't believe them until they force us to believe. It was the same with Mad. It was the same with Koi at the end of last season. You have to make people believe.
Fnatic were the reigning champions for so long. Mad and Koi rose to the ranks as the title contenders. It was those 4 that sat at the top. But now there is a new contender for the title, and it is BDS.
And they look terrifying.
They
absolutely terrifying.
And as much as I want for you to be able to vote for all 5 players, there's only 4 options on Twitter poll. So we'll give you 3 so someone doesn't feel bad that they're left out. Player of the series at LEC on Twitter, Sheo, Crownie, Lebrov.
Great choices.
I mean, just whoever
For me, it would have been Lebrov, but like you can go for anyone, really. Like they're all such great candidates. It's a difficult one for sure.
To like decouple Crownie and Lebrov, I think is unfair. Because it's a tough one, right? That their team fighting was so insane. But the BDS fan power hour here on the desk after a performance like that is over. We can finally toss it over to Yinsu and the birthday boy himself, Crown Shot, after a commanding win in that best of 5.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, you guys. I'm joined by Crownie. Yes, very well deserved applause you have there. First of all, a happy birthday.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be able to celebrate your birthday in this fashion?
I mean, it feels amazing, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know what else to say.
Probably one of the better birthdays, I guess, you've had. Now, this is your first Grand Final, also BDS's first Grand Final as well. What does it mean to you to be able to do this by 3-0ing Team Vitality?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they are a very strong team, but we were confident in ourselves, and we kind of knew what we wanted to play, and we predicted a lot of what they will pick, and I think we were just more on the same page in the game, and we just outplayed them in team fights, I would say.
Well, you said that you predicted a lot of what they're going to do. Is there anything that you didn't predict? Because I think a lot of people at least thought that this was going to be closer than the 3-0.
I mean, I think in game they played a bit disjointed, and we also expected them to switch it up this last game to maybe play something more aggressive, but we didn't really expect them to go Silas and stuff like that. But I think it worked out well for us. We got what we wanted, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it definitely worked out really well. Now, I read in an interview recently that, you know, this journey has been a little bit crazy for you. Even last year, you thought about retiring because you were worried about not being able to find a team. Can you reflect a little bit with me here, you know, how it means to you to be able to reach this point from just not giving up?
Yeah, I mean, it's very surreal. I still can't believe it. And yeah, I mean, I'm just very Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yes. Your story is incredibly inspiring. Really inspiring. Yeah. It's okay. Take your time. Woo!
It feels amazing, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It feels amazing, and I'm very thankful to my teammates and everyone.
Yeah, I think we are proud of you. We're really proud of you that you didn't give up. You know, you went through a lot of hardship to be able to reach it. But I do want to throw it forward because, you know, making an international tournament, maybe it was a really big dream for you, but this has become a very realistic dream. You are so close. It looks like from us, at least, that you might be the team that just to do that. But in your perspective, is there anything that you feel like could be a big challenge, a team maybe, that could maybe stop you from reaching
I mean, if I had to say one team, I would still say G2 in best of fives. I think they're very strong, and I would like to face them in the final because it feels like the final boss of the teams who have left since we beat everyone else. So.
The work is not done for you, for sure. I think a lot of people will be watching you right now, also feeling maybe in the way that you're feeling, you know, not giving up, keep going. Is there anything that you like to say to people who might have experienced what you did last year, where they had a lot of worries, maybe they wanted to give up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would just say to keep your head down and keep grinding and just, you know, believe that it will always work out, as cliche as it sounds, yeah.
Is there anything that you would particularly look to as something that helped you to stay focused when things were going bad?
I would say it's very important to have a good support system. I had many people like my family and people in the scene that, you know, helped me a lot and stood by my side. So I would say that.
And last question. Your support today. What a game he had as well. And you guys as a duo, you know, it's been great to watch you. Anything you'd like to say about how he played?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone can see that he's an insane player, so, you know, I hope he gets the credit he deserves.
I definitely think he will now. And lastly, I believe Adam is on PGL. He's with Law right now. You got a question for Adam?
No questions. I'm just proud of the way he played, yeah, and I think everyone played very well. So I'd like to shout out all of my teammates and staff for a great job.
Yeah, you all did a great job. Thank you so much, and best of luck in the grand final. It is crowning, everyone. And yeah, I'm going to throw this over to Law to close out the show.
Thank you.